Sorry I'm late. I was fighting with that stupid thumbnail. You know the one that says it's 420. That's the one. All right, good morning. I'm Dark Polago. Thanks for joining me on another morning watch this building session. Today is 4/20/22, and the market's going to go crazy. Man, I'll tell you what. Talk about schizophrenia. Netflix horrible earnings has the potential to drive the market down. But I want you to look at this Roku, and I want you to look at Netflix, and there's two levels that I'm going to show here. And there's the reason I want to show them to you is because this tree line and this snow line are super powerful, that they will stop stuff. AMD is at a fire line, right? There's just, oh my goodness, it's just pretty much easy peasy lemon squeezy. I need to go get a hat on. Give me a second. Nobody's here yet, so uno momento. All right, good morning. Where's my people? Where are my people? Don't tell me I got two streams going again. I will be pissed. I will be pissed. Yep. Son of a biscuit. All right. There we go. That should work. Maybe that'll get some people over. Let's find out. All right. I'm going to give it a minute or so and let... There we go. Morning, Billy. So I knew something was up. I was like, where's Billy and Johnny? Those, they're always here. Where they at? Where they at? Well, I knew I had two streams being posted. Ha! All right. Good morning. We do have a lot of stuff to get through. Where's my futures? All right, futures. We're going to get into futures first. And we're really going to dig into what we talked about yesterday. And then we will get going on the other stuff. All right. All right. Yeah, thoughts on Netflix and what happened in Q? Yes, we will get into all of those. But I do. You see this purple line that I drew yesterday? I'm a magic man. All right. Two things to look. Inverse head and shoulders, right? I hope everybody can see it. That is the neckline. We may be going up. Okay. So ES chop zone, right? We came down, doji, nice up day, nice up day. This purple line is where I thought that we would meet. Look at this. Once this loads, this purple line is where I thought that two major key moving averages are going to converge. And yeah, Netflix missed on earnings. Netflix is kind of the pulse of the market. I was actually able to grab some Roku puts at the close yesterday. All right, so I was a little bit off, right? They're making a little bit more flat than I thought. So this purple line's not valuable. But look at this 4S. This is an ES 4 hour. This is ES. We came down. We bounced up, ripped up through the 200, ripped up through the 50. We're getting a 21-200 cross up and over. Once this 21 crosses up and over the 50, I think that'll give us another boost that we need to go up towards this 45.40. That's my target for the day. We're currently chilling at a skyline, which can be a reversal point as well. right? So we've got snow lines, sky lines, and tree lines. Let me see. And those are important because the bigger ones, like the fire lines and the tree lines, don't get hit very often. And when they do, they act as major support resistance. The snow lines get hit a little bit more often, and those can act as some support resistance. And then the sky lines, they get hit pretty frequently, and those are good for targets, right? So we're currently at a skyline, working our way back up to a snow line. So 45.38 would be my first target to the upside today. We do have support coming in at this skyline, 618 retracement, 50-day, right, at 44, 4444, that level there. Below that, we flush back down 4271, or actually, we flush down to the 4420, 4415 level. Below that, then it's going to get real sketchy because that is a 200-day on the 4-hour. All right, bringing it over to 30-minute. Like we're making good moves up and down and up and up and up, right? So there's going to be some sector leaders. We just have to find what they are and what they're going to do. I would hate to see us chop between here, but look at this. We finally got stacked positive moving averages on the ES 2150-200, right? That occurred yesterday morning, right? We got that nice little pop up consolidation. Now, what happened? Why didn't we just continue running all day? So there's a concept of machine and algorithmic trading. Let's see if I can find the correct chart. All right, this quant levels chart right here will work. And let me do this. Now that we're starting to get some clearly defined direction in the market, I want us to be able to one second. I'll do the rest of this after the close, but I want y'all to see what happened yesterday. All right, so quant levels. These are the weeklies, I believe. Yeah, so our weekly quant levels, the zero line. If you look at the data over here, we typically 55% of the time we will touch this H1, right? 44% of the time we will touch this H2, but we will close above the H2 only 22% of the time. So this massive move up, right? Oh, I wish I had my dailies up. We'll study this a little bit more, but so from a daily perspective, the quant level was here yesterday up to the daily level here, and what happens at these H1s and these H2s is machines will come in and start defending those positions. Here's a great example right here from the other day, right? 30-minute chart, right? So we started at the zero line. It came, they pushed price down to this L2, and this is where machines came in and started buying. They're defending this L2. So there's a maximum amount that price action on an instrument can move per day, and it's not ATR or ADR. This is where these are predefined levels that these machines have set to come in and start either selling or buying, right? They defend these levels because if not, then it would just be a runaway train, right? So don't trade against the machines, trade with them, and if they're defending these H1, H2 levels, don't go long at an H1, right? Start looking at maybe some reversions back down to here, selling some call spreads, right? Taking some puts. I took a put in Goldman Sachs. I'll show you them in a minute. I took a put in Goldman Sachs because price had traveled all the way up to the H1, and there's only a 5% chance that it'll close above the H2 for the rest of the week, right? So it's just kind of important to look at these, right? Just understand what machines are doing and don't trade against the machines because you'll always lose. Okay, getting back to this. So we are at a snow line. I think that we would have to look and see what the level would be, but I do like this 618 target, 45.38 to the upside. Support is going to be at the 2150 day on at least the 30-minute chart. I've been using this 30-minute chart to kind of guide my way. This is great for directions. Yes, the ES gives a big finger, but you know what? We broke out of that, and we're continuing to move up. Okay, moving on to the next one. I don't know where Johnny is this morning, but all right, the old NQ. Okay, so the NQ is coming up to some key levels of support and resistance. Yesterday they rallied up, hit the 50-day, and now we're trying to get through the 50 and up to the 21. I'm not super confident in the NQ until we get above this tree line at 14,4450. Above that, I think we get to move back up to 15,000, but that is basically my 21 EMA. You know, yes, we've got a little bit of a moving 21, but that tree line is super powerful, in my opinion. And so I just want to make sure it's not a bull trap where we rally up to there and then we start getting rejected and machines start coming in and selling and pushing us down, because this 21 hasn't really done anything, but this 50-day has been super powerful. So we are at the 50-day on the daily, bringing it down to the 4-hour. That purple line is there for a reason to show that it is a 50-day. I'm seeing a 1, 2, 3 Wu-Tang reversal. We got above the 200, right? Above this purple line, we can start getting pretty juicy. Sitting back and waiting another day won't really hurt, because we could catch the 5th wave of an Elliott wave above, above these levels here, this 14,500 level. And this is that Elliott wave that I'm talking about here. So let's just say that this is the, we could do this. There's a couple ways we can look at it. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Maybe it's this here, right? That's nice and clean, right? But it could also be this. I'm leaning towards this second move here a little bit more, because it puts this 3rd wave up to that key level, that skyline right there, or that tree line, and then our 5th wave is shorter, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? There's a couple ways that we can look at it. Regardless, this is a short move, right? This is another 150 point move, maybe a day, right? And then we're definitely bullish. 1, 2, 3, so long above this line here, right? This purple line, like we could go long, but I'm not looking for a super extended move, because we're already in a 1, 2, 3 bar play, right? So, I mean, there it is. Let's look at it from a 30-minute perspective to kind of give us guidance, right? And we've cleared the daily 200, right? That's this purple line. Like we're at a major supply zone, right? That has just kind of stuffed us, and there it is. There's that. There it is there. So there's a bunch of orders sitting right here, because look how far back this thing goes. Right, maybe it's a little bigger than this. Maybe it encompasses something like that. Right. Rejected, rejected, couldn't make it, rejected. Like, are we overextended? Do we get a pullback? Is tomorrow the day? Do we get this move into Thursday and Friday? Right? We shall see. Right? Are we making a big old head and shoulders here? You know, what do we got going on? 1, 2, 3 Dow reversal. Do we get rejected? Do we go on? Okay. Like I said, I'm just sitting back and chilling until I get confirmation of that move. 2150, 200 all stack positive. You know, pulling back to the 21 wouldn't hurt us, right? But NQ looks pretty decent. All right, moving on to the Dilly Dally Daily Dow, which I thought had a little bit more. Right, again, this daily 200 is coming into play again. Can we get above it and continue to move on? That's what we're looking to have happen. 21, you know, this is just flat. The propensity for this to be choppy is greater than a bullish momentum, right? Because our 50 and our 21 are basically flat on the daily. Looking at it from a 4-hour perspective, right? This was a great move up. That 2150 crossover, right? We've held the 200. We got the cross up and over. We do have some upside targets here. I would target 35,140 or 35,067, but this 140 seems to be more like the mid of the range, right? So this tree line or this skyline above that, right? Above that, we've got a lot of room up to 36,000 or 36,100. Okay. So from a 30-minute perspective, the 30 minutes kind of my guide to things, right? We've made kind of a big move already, right? That was a good move yesterday, right? We're way above value area high. We're starting, you know, so this cross up and over yesterday was gorgeous, right? We knew that we had an opportunity for things to bounce, and we did. So now we're just riding the 21 up, okay? 35075, 35140. I know that's a big range there, but those are some possible upside targets. We've got a previous high, that previous point of control, let's make sure that you guys look left. And if we look left, we got previous point of control, previous value area low, and a previous high that's going to come into play right at 35,000. So psychological level, what do we do there? Okay. Next up is the red-headed Russell, and the Russell has been really kind of keeping the market alive, to be honest with you. Yes, it's been super choppy. We got a 2150 cross down. We are at this tree line, which is super important. It's been resistance, support, right? Resistance, support, resistance, support, right? Resistance. I'm not sure what this pink line is, but it's there for a reason. All right, so from this low to this high, we came back to the 2-3. So we were definitely still uptrending from a daily perspective. I said use this trend line for your levels. We're starting to enter some real weird liquidity levels here on the Russell. It needs a break, to be honest with you. We finally got about the 4-hour 200, 2150. So this 21 will cross up above the 200. We'll retest it. Probably maybe today, right? Depending how strong it is. But this tree line, super powerful, right? It's a little easier to see here on this 30-minute chart how resistance, we broke through it, support, failure, right? Couldn't get back above the 200. So I like I'm sure there's some Elliott wave theorists here that could give us some specific levels, but 2068 seems to be a pretty generic level. 2075, right? There's a lot of There's a supply zone there that's probably still has some liquidity left to it, right? To the downside, if we break below this 200 on the 4-hour, I think we've got a 21 and a 50 to come down to support. So below 2027, support at 2000. The 30-minute is our guide, and this is a nice move on the Russell. Okay, took out some previous highs. Right, we're in a supply zone right now, up to 2050. Right, here's a good look at this. Right, out, back test, rip. Right, chop, 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 chop. Right, there's just lots of things happening at this level, but this 50 rising up to meet the 21, man. Boom, failure. Boom, bull flag, breakout, continuation on. You could do a fib extension from all right, 127 is right at the top of that previous zone. I like the 1414, right? The 168 is, that's the move for the day, and it's over. Hold on, let me go turn that down. All right, so since we've had such nice moves on our futures, what do you think is going to be happening with gold and crude? Okay, you're right. Kind of pulling back, so let me just show you from a daily. We gave up some key levels, right? We were retesting the 21 here. We've got the 50 right below us, so I mean, gold support down to about $19.22, $19.20. So from 1920 to about let me just draw this demand zone. It's one of these dojis here, basically. It's one of these levels. All right, I could be off by a couple dollars, but below 1919, you know, we could easily move back down to 1850, right? 1860. But if this 21 holds, then we get to move up. Now, everything can't move up at the same time, right? They gotta have rotation. So where are they coming out of? Is it gonna be crude, right? Is that an inverse head and shoulders there? Did I draw that? Or is that a head and shoulders? Did I draw that correctly? I mean, come on. Can I see the future? No, I can't see the future. But I do see a potential head and shoulders forming here, right? This 382 retracement seems to have held up pretty well. That's going to be, well, let's just, finding the neckline is the hard part for me, right? I'm going to use this 382 as the neckline for crude, right? Maybe a little pop up, a little bit more of a little blipper rally, a little bull trap right here, move back down, snap the neckline and continue on. Okay, all right. Sorry, I just read something. Anyway, crude, 30-minute is our guide. There it is, right? Pretty easy to see. Let's extend this sucker out. I should probably fire up my support resistance studies and get those going. Pretty easy peasy to see it. If it's true, then I'm a magic man. Okay. All right, ZB bonds. Look at this move. I missed the move in TLT yesterday. Some of this divergence is already traded out. It's interesting that bonds and the ES rallied at the same time. Usually they're inverse of each other, so I'm not sure what's going on. But look at this tree line and see how powerful it is, right? Snow line stoppage, right? Tree line stoppage, snow line target, right? If that's the case, okay? And then the yen is just continuing to die. I can't believe it's down to 77. This is a big deal, right? It's 72. Remember this purple line? Remember how far left I had to look to find previous support, right? The last time we hit sub 80, right? The next support is at 74, right? 74, way down here. So, all of you money traders, look at the yen. Like it's, is this a fifth wave, fourth wave, third wave? Is it? Yeah, the yen is taking a beating. All right. That's it for now. That's it for the futures. I'm going to throw the 3-minute chart. Nope. These reloaded. I would prefer not to gap up and have to gap fill back down, but this may have to happen, right? 2150 super important levels. When these intraday time frames start giving it up, right? There's some exhaustion, right? There's some things taking place. I think we're back to the bottom row down, top row up. That's the way we like to make money. Okay. All right. What else? TTD made the move yesterday. I think everything off of my weekly watch list made the move that I was anticipating. MMMM. Johnny, I'm sorry about that one. I mean, I didn't see this big rip yesterday. And the flow index wasn't really giving us any bullish signals that I could tell, right? So, apologies. We will get into it. All right, let's go over the news and yeah, I know. I wish I could find the equity equivalent of the yen and I would short it to 0. All right, magic kilts, right? Magic kilts. Remember, 450 key level for the SPY. Okay, very key level. All right, let's get into it. We do have some news. Netflix earnings. All right, Netflix 350 to 250, $100 loss yesterday. Like, I don't even know, man. That's so sketch, right? Does it have further to go? Yeah, it does. Unfortunately, we may get a little rally to the 21, but I think this is not a dead cat bounce. This is death in the air. Netflix down 7% after first sub decline, right? They beat on EPS 353 versus 289. Revenues 7.87 versus 7.93. They guided their Q2 revenues at EPS at $3 versus estimates of 302, revenues 8 billion versus 8.2. Says relatively high household penetration, including a large number of households sharing accounts, and competition creating rev growth headwinds. Said net loss of 20,000 subs in the quarter versus estimate of an additional 2.5 million. Now they came out and they guided, hey, we're gonna, we're gonna have an additional 2.5 million users. They actually lost 20,000. Okay, so sympathy plays. Apple, is that bullish for Apple? Is that where people are going? Disney, is that where they're going? Roku? Well, Roku is more like Netflix in that they don't produce anything. Roku doesn't produce anything. They're just a regurgitation service, basically. That's the way I call it. So, yeah, sorry, Netflix. The levels for the Netflix today are, I mean, that 250 is key psychological level. If it hits, I mean, below 250, and I don't have anything helping to stop Netflix. Like, we remember when I'm like trifecta, right, where we blow out the top of all the Celts. Well, this is difecta. We've blown out the bottom of all the Celts. I'm not seeing anything, and I don't have quarterly Celts up. So intraday, the 15-minute Celts should be your guide if you want to do any sort of playing around with Netflix. I personally would stay away. There's going to be a ton of volume. Okay. Sympathy plays in Roku, though, however, right, may be the ticket. Okay, Roku's got a little bit further to go. I was luckily able to get the 105 puts at the close yesterday for like 50 cents. And that was just because they were at 105 the day before, right? Now, Roku has a little bit more going on than Netflix does. Roku is at the bottom of the daily, bottom of the 4-hour Celts, right? It's got previous low support at 105.83 that it can bounce from. Now, we're also in the weekly Keltner, bottom weekly Keltner channel, and we've got some high compression squeezes happening here. So if those fire to the downside, we can see a quick flush to 105.83. If we crack that, 96 is the next target for Roku. I would love to close today at 96 because my two little contracts would be worth, what's that? $2,000. Yeah, baby. Let's be realistic though. I mean, 98 possibility, but 103, there's a demand zone right at 103. That's pretty significant. Or, yeah, demand zone. All right. So that's Roku. All right. Other news. Teva Pharmaceuticals, right, said the FDA issued a compliant response letter according to the new drug application for its drug that treats schizophrenia. Well, it is got schizophrenia. It's not trying to, it can't make up its mind what it wants to do. Which is interesting that it dropped after getting a response letter. So if we're downcycling for is that monthly mid at 959, 950 support. Below that, we come back down to 9. Okay. I know a lot of people trade that penny stock. All right. In financials, Interactive Brokers, where is it? Interactive Brokers, IBKR, Q1 BPS 82 cents, which is in line with estimates. Q1 revenues 692 versus 696. Said their Q1 customer accounts increased 36%, which is good because they are a broker, right? Customer equity grew 8%, and customer margin loans increased 14%. That is interesting. So they're saying more people are using margin, 14%, right? I mean, I know it's not a lot of, those aren't big numbers, but that's an increase. If people weren't using margin, that means people aren't trading, which means that, there's nothing to support anything. All right, as far as the move, right, I'd stay away from it until it gets above 66. All right, that's the 5200. It's also the day of the 4-hour 50, 4-hour top, daily mid, that just whole 66 to 66.50. That's just kind of a what do we do zone. Okay, we could easily reject it and come back down. We could pop through it and rip back up, right, to 68.50. So I'm going to stay away from my BKR, okay? In energy API, American Railroad, here we are every Wednesday. I should create a shared Google Drive sheet that we can all just use and start charting this. If anybody was good with like plugging data into like bar charts or anything like that, I'd be super interested to see what this looks like. API, American Petroleum Institute, reported weekly crude draw of negative 4.496 million barrels, Cushing build of 0.093 million barrels, gasoline build of positive 2.93 million barrels, and a distillate draw of 1.65. Martin Transport's there's nothing there for me. All right, here we go. Tesla. Elon Musk revealed that automaker is now over 100,000 people in its full self-driving beta program. Note Tesla to report earnings after the close tonight. Tesla's got those earnings. Now talk about black swan events. So Netflix leading the way with a miss on earnings. Tesla, Google, Microsoft, any of those guys miss on earnings, it could be the event that just totally takes away everything that we've fought so hard to gain over the last couple of weeks and sends us into a tailspin. Okay, so be aware of Tesla earnings. Now, if you want to play Tesla earnings, but you don't want to play Tesla, every single EV maker is going to be a sympathy play for it, right? NIO, Rivian, right? I can't believe Rivian's at 36 again, and I didn't get in at 30 when I wanted to, but right, NIO, Rivian, Li Auto, right, XPEV actually looks pretty decent, right? Yeah, sympathy play for Tesla. This is a big move in NIO yesterday. Wow, 18 to 20. I might have to start playing NIO again. Again, I'm not waiting. I'm waiting till it's above the 50. I'm not playing anything below the 50 anymore. Okay, so Tesla, Lululemon. All right. Big move yesterday. Big move pre-market, pulling back at some key levels of support. Right, trifected out of the top of everything. Right, or not quite trifecta yet, but on its way to the monthly top at 450. Okay. They outlined fresh 5-year financial targets, sees revenue doubling from 2021 levels by 2026, reaching 12.5 billion. They also expect to double its men's business, having already doubled its men's sales from 2018 to 2021. Okay, that's a positive news. People, positive news. Grab a fib retracement and hold on tight. Grab a fib extension and hold on tight. 407 is support. Below 407, then we come back down to the 400 level. Okay. Yeah, 407.40 is that key level. Look for a bounce there and then move back up. If we reject, like if we break that level, right, I think we trade back down to the 15 bottom. So we're at 15 mid. Use the 15-minute calcs on Lulu with a 2 or 5 minute chart, and you can get a move. Okay. In world news, IMF chief economist said that inflation is elevated for another couple more months. In advanced economies and wages pressure continues to rise. We'll likely see a more aggressive monetary policy tightening. The Russia-Ukraine war is piling onto an already elevated inflation environment. Bostic said yesterday the Fed shouldn't move so fast that it chokes off growth. Neutral rate could be as low as 1.75. Inflation could be topping, but he noted that real incomes adjusted for the cost of living have been falling. Evans spoke yesterday, or said yesterday, that the key U.S. interest rate to go to 2.5% and likely higher. If we get to 2.2, if we get to 2.25 to 2.5 rates by December, we'll be able to look at where inflation is. Could raise rates by half a point increments a few times this year, with the potential that rates could eventually top 3%. Japan March trade balance large deficit, huge. Negative 4.24 billion versus negative 100 billion consensus. That's a massive deficit. March imports higher at 31% versus 29. Exports lower at 14% versus 17. Japan is having troubles, as we know by the yuan. Okay, the yen. Sorry, the yen. All right. Lots of earnings after the close today. Tesla, United Airlines, LRCX, that's going to be a huge one. CCI and Alcoa. Of course. I have the 330. I have the 330 puts. I'm looking for a rejection, right? 337.99 rejection. Back down to 330. Yes, I bought puts at 335. Let me show you why, you ask. Where's my... Let me show you why. Remember those quant levels I was talking about? All right. Well, we topped. Do I have a daily on here? That's the quarterly, weekly, daily. All right, daily periods. All right, so daily periods, right? All right, so which quant was this? Sorry, I just want to show you what I mean by machines coming in and defending positions. Okay, from a daily perspective, right? There we go. So these are the quarterly quants. If we get above the 50, then we get a nice move up in Goldman Sachs up to like 370, right? 375. However, if we reject this 50 again, right, we could easily move back down, right? Today will be the day. So I'm going to throw an alert. If we get a close above the 50 on Goldman Sachs, I'm going to trade it way back up to 370. If we reject this 50, I think we come back down. Ready and fire, slingshot squeeze, getting ready to set up, right? However, from a daily quant perspective, right, we traded up to the 1. We had a 5% chance of getting up to the 2. So this is a weekly, right? We had a 7% chance of closing above the H2 on the weekly, right? By the end of the week. That's not today. So, I mean, we're above it now, but closing above it is what we're looking at. We are already at our daily H2. We're very overextended. We're coming up on the 50-day, right? We're up at the top of a previous demand zone, pretty significant resistance here at these levels, right? I'm just not super bullish on Goldman Sachs. Okay, so I did buy the puts, and this is more of an experiment. We are in a little channel. There's lots of things happening here. I think we close the end of the week sub 330. That's the end of the week, and that means I'm holding through some heat right now. Okay. Whenever I'm testing out new strategies and theories and stuff like this, I have a account that I just use for R&D basically. Okay. Earnings before the bell, nothing that we would trade. Okay. Data for the day. What do we have? Do we have anything going on today? Canadian CPI data is already through. I'm not seeing anything. Existing home sales to come in at 10. Crude oil inventories at 10:30. That will be something, right? That's huge. Previously, we had 9.4 million in crude. They're estimating 3. Ouch. That's sketchy AF. I'm not sure what the beige book is, but yeah, we got some things happening today. All right. And then finally, let me just give you the overall. SP futures are flat to slightly lower, while Nasdaq futures drop more after shares of Netflix lost over 25% after posting unexpected decline in quarterly subscribers and a mixed quarter. Nasdaq's futures still looking much better than overnight, down 0.2%, being down as much as 1%. U.S. Treasury extends gains, with the 10-year yield dropping 5 BPS to 2.88, which is helping sentiment, down from overnight highs at around 2.98%. Okay. The U.S. dollar is also pulling back after a recent run to 3-year highs and more than a decade highs versus the haven Japanese yen. In Asian markets, the Nikkei index rose 232. Good way to go. The Shanghai index fell 1.35%. Hang Seng dipped 0.4%. In Europe, the DAX is up 150 points. FTSE 100 gains 30 points. U.S. data today includes the Fed's beige book, which was U.S. data today includes the Fed's beige book, as well as existing home sales for March. Today's Fed speakers should be the final round of Fed comments before the media blackout period ahead of a 3 to 4 day. Fed comments before the media blackout period ahead of the 3 to 4 May FOMC meeting. Another big day of earnings with Procter & Gamble this morning and Tesla after the close. All right. That's it. Let's get into the plays, shall we? All right, this is the Smart Money Dark Pool Block Trade Algorithm System provided by FlowTrade. What it does is it tracks smart money, dark pools, block trades, creates its own flow index. There will be, all right, the pink line is the flow index. Red lines are regular block trades. Blue lines are dark pool block trades. White lines are fun, but they're really when a regular and a dark pool print on top of each other. And you can't separate them out. Now, I will go through these usually. I go through in the order people show up, and if I missed you, please let me know now. So Andrew would like to see Netflix. Johnny came in looking at Qualcomm, JB Hunt, and XOM. And then I owe you guys QQQ and SPY and American Airlines. Okay, that'll work. Netflix. Right. I mean, I'm seeing inverted head and shoulders, but they're trading at 250. So the flow index really didn't help us. There's a definite surprise happening here. Right. So 350 was a target for yesterday. There was a white line there. I was like, let's use 350 as a target. Too late to get into Amazon. I don't know. It's probably already made its move. So the problem with trying to guess with earnings, and that's why I don't play earnings, is because this is data, this isn't speculation, right? So unfortunately, I can't give you any guidance because I need to see what the flow index does today, and then maybe we can look at some potentials for Netflix. Okay, so let's look at Netflix tomorrow. Okay, Qualcomm, nice stair step move yesterday, higher highs, higher lows, right? Current cup and handle. Like I said, I like the 142 target. The flow index is pointed straight down. I don't know if this is a data. Sometimes what will happen is all of the institutional investors will all get in and take the same type of position. So if they're selling this rip, then we would get that dip down, that little straight down indicator, right? But as you can see, they started selling out of this position as it was coming up. So if you're smart money and price is coming up and you own positions as price is rising, you're selling out of your positions, right? So that you get a favorable exit price. Okay. Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. Okay. So trading with price action, right? They're selling out of their positions that they purchased back here, right? So they're buying, right? Here's price. They're buying into this. So this is their baseline entry, right? They get a big old move up and they start selling out of their positions as it's coming down to their entry point. Okay. They can continue to sell this, so there looks to me like they're going short on it. Okay. That's the algo perspective. That's the flow index perspective. So if we don't get any volume and momentum ripping us up to fill that gap, then I would start looking at any sort of trend line breaks, right? Any sort of cracks in the armor for a move back down to the downside. Okay. All right. JB Hunt or JBHT. I'm assuming that's JB Hunt. Look at the consolidation that's occurring between 165 and 175. I'm not sure where the ATR is on this, but it is making some jackified higher lows and higher highs. Okay, so it looks like above 175, 174.81. There's a trading zone that runs to 175 to 180. That's a nice move there. I do like how the flow index is making those higher highs and higher lows. Intraday, right? It's just trading with price action. Got a regular block trade at 173.86 and 172.59 and then 172. So I would use, right, 173.88. Sorry, 173.88. You've got those support levels. There's quite a few block trades here. 172, 171.98. So that's the base. 172 is the base. Below that, we need to look at downside moves, pulling back to here, and let's just look at support. 618 retracement is right at that 172 level. So I'd use 172 as a base and then let the flow index kind of pull you up as to where we're going. Okay. All right, XOM, ExxonMobil, they're selling out of their position, right? Consolidation, right? Starting to buy into some of this, right? Starting to sell out of these a little bit, right? Watch crude, especially today since we've got reporting. There is divergence. Divergence down to about 85. Got a white line level at 86.77 and another one at 87.98, 88.38. So if we can't get above these regular blocks and continue to move on, then the name of the game is follow the smart money. The name of the game is follow the money. Follow the money. So these dark pools that came in at 86 or 87.65, right? Could be sell programs. Okay. All right. I owe you all Tesla, Amazon, QQQ, and Johnny, you want to look at American Airlines? All right, Tesseract. Y'all should know by now Tesla's going to do what Tesla wants to do. We have divergence up to about 1075, right? Look at this massive cluster of support. Flow index continues to make higher lows and higher highs. It should pull price action up with it, right? You got blocks at 1043, 1057, 1065, 1073, 1080, 1084. There's a dark pool. 1091 is another dark pool. So there's your upside targets, right? 1100 to the upside. This divergence is traded out pretty much. The initial divergence has traded out. There's these sub divergences that you can use to take profit on the way up. Just use those as resistance as well. Okay. If we break down below 1023, 1020, we have support all the way down here to 992, 980. Okay. So that $1,000 key level, right? There's a dark pool there. It's a key level. It's a psychological level. But the main support's down here at 985, 990. Okay. Next up is Amazon. I didn't forecast it, but I did forecast it on Twitter this week that Amazon had nice bullish divergence, right? Most of it's traded out already. The next phase would be 3,200 psychological resistance, right? 1, 2, 3, Wu-Tang Wednesday, Wu-Tang reversal. Let's go, baby. That's a perfect 1, 2, 3 reversal. It's using regular block trade support at 3155, 3150. Remember yesterday I was like 3150, right? 3050. I give you a range. Anyway, I see continued movement up in Amazon up into Friday, and then I think they start selling out. Okay. All right. Next up is QQQ. I'm going to do American Airlines first. Yes, Tesla is on watch today, absolutely, but I can't trade Tesla contracts, especially during an earnings week. There's Ivy crush is real. American Airlines, we're at white line support 1958, clustered support down here at 1886. There's a little gap down here at 1850 to 1881 is a gap that will eventually have to be filled. Flow index is just trading 1-to-1 with price right now, so use that small cap, use that transportation, use your fib levels, use these support levels. It's basically no man's land between below 1950 to 1950 cent fall failure. Is this a head and shoulders that's forming? I hate American Airlines. But the flow index is trading 1-to-1 with price. Can't really give you any clearly defined. There's divergence to trade out of, but so gap up, pull back, gap up and run, pull back, up, right? So it made a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? I just think that there's money going to be flowing elsewhere besides American Airlines today, okay? Especially with United having earnings. All right, QQQ, bullish divergence. There it is, right? It is trading 1-to-1 with price now. We are at a cup and handle top, 346.44 to 350 is that next level. We've got some blocks up here at 354 that we can be using as a magnet. Look, this is just the last 2 days. That's yesterday's block trades, right? Pretty significant. All right, look for the flow trade or flow index to make a higher high, which should pull price up to fill that little gap up to 348.62. There's a trading zone from 348.62 up to 356. Okay, you see that zone right there? There's the high, here's the low, there's the high, here's the low, there's the resistance, breakthrough, back test for support. So it's right there. Everybody can see it, plain as day. All right, next up and finally is SPY. SPY. 1 day's worth of block trades on SPY. 1 day's worth of block trades on SPY. Look at the consolidation. All right, the flow index is trying to pull price action up with it. Look for this level of resistance on the flow index because it has stopped there before. Okay, so I would say we're trading a zone up to about 450, right? There's that move up to 450 and then rejection or continuation, right? But I gave you the futures to look at. It's more of a guide, okay? 3-minute 2150 EMAs. Look at that big old, lots of money started coming in at the end of the day right here. Look at that. So there's a bunch of blocks right here that came in. They're just sitting here, right? These ones the other day, right? These came in as price was coming down. We'll look at where they came to. 414, 419. These blocks came in as price was falling, right? Can you please tell me you guys can see this? So these white dots are when the blocks came in. So these came in as price was going up. We had these blocks down here just sitting here waiting. What happens? Price comes down and eats these blocks up, right? As this price is coming down, there's blocks up here that are just sitting here waiting, right? Well, what happens? Price comes up and eats up these blocks. Well, what do we got down here? We got blocks sitting down here waiting, right? As price is up, well, you think price is going to come down and eat up these blocks? I think so, right? But this is a big move up. I think it needs to run its cycle. So give it some time. Just know that there's blocks sitting down at 437, right? There's money sitting here. Okay. All right, I got to run. Thanks for joining me. I'm Darkbolt Algo. I will see you all tomorrow. If you have any questions, please hit me up in the chat. All right. Goldman Sachs. I think I went over Goldman Sachs, right? The flow index is consolidating. Price action is making higher highs and higher lows. It's coming up to that area where where machines are going to start defending this area, right? 338, 337. Okay. All right. And CEI, I'm not sure what this is, but I see the flow index is just trading with price action right now. From a penny stock perspective, that $1 is a super psychological level. Above that, it can get woody, but until it closes above the $1 level, right, and holds it for more than a couple minutes, I would stay away from it. But yeah, on the break of, y'all know the flow index does work for penny stocks. So trade with price, right? A little bit of bullish divergence to trade it out. If the flow index turns around and starts to make a move back up to the upside, I think it can pull price up with it. You have support at 93 cents, right? Fill the gap, support at 93. So you got to get back above $1 though. Okay, if not, then you're going to fall down. 93 downside, 80 cent incoming. Okay, I do got to run now. Thanks for joining me. I will see y'all tomorrow. Stay safe, stay green. If you have any requests, questions, comments, concerns, anything, hit me up. Just ask me. I'm super friendly. I will talk with all of you. You know that. Have a great day. Final look at our futures. One final look at the futures. Who said I can't have a crystal ball? Key level for NQ. This could be a big old nasty bull flag breakout. Okay, the 2150 is your guide. The 2150 is your guide. The 2150 is your guide. 2150 is your guide.